Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh dan salam sejahtera and very good morning to all. Welcome to the Perdana Leadership Foundation SME Leaders Programme 2022. Please make yourselves at home and do keep your masks on, and please kindly put your mobile phones on the silent mode. We have a very packed program lined up for today, and for easy reference as we move along today, I would urge you to download the program at www.perdanasmeleaders.com or just scan the QR code that you can find here. And we have 210 people registered for these events, but you can see that the hall is just half full. I have been told that there has been an accident at the Max Highway and also at Putrajaya. Probably that's the reason why many people has not shown up yet, but we will start on time anyway. So I'm your host, Peggy Ng. I'm the MC for the day. First and foremost, I'd like to extend a warm welcome to the guests of honor, Yang Berbahagia Datuk Suryani Ahmad, Secretary General, Ministry of Entrepreneur Development and Cooperatives. Thank you very much, Yang Berbahagia Datuk, for making time to address this occasion and to officiate the event. And as your host of the event and at hand to welcome all of you is Yang Berbahagia Tan Sri Azman Hashim, Chairman of the Board of Trustees of Perdana Leadership Foundation, as well as Yang Berbahagia Tan Sri Nik Muhammad Nik Yaakob, Executive Director of Perdana Leadership Foundation. And to all the speakers who have turned up for this opening this session, I'd like to say thank you very much for saying yes, and thank you for committing your time. And to all the participants who are already here, thank you for being on time, and thank you for taking up the invitation to participate. This event is crafted for you, sponsored by Affin Bank, M-Bank Group, and also PNS. A big thank you. I'd like to invite a big round of applause for all the sponsors, please. And now, for those who are not yet so familiar with Perdana Leadership Foundation, let me just take a few moments to introduce the foundation. It was established in year 2003 with the objective of researching, documenting, and disseminating material related to the past prime ministers of the country, starting from the time of independence. The vision is to become a comprehensive research and archive center for the present and future leaders and policy makers of the country. Hence the tagline, drawing on the past to serve the future. And within the walls of this building resides a physical library with 10,000 books, and more impressively, 250,000 digital documents comprising news clippings, journal articles, and speeches that chart the leadership journey of Malaysia. The emphasis of Perdana Leadership Foundation is on leadership, of course, and it draws on the lessons of past, current events, and as well as talks and dialogues with past and present leaders of government and industry. And the Foundation's flagship public event to engage industry leaders and to dialogue with them is the CEO Forum. And no less than the CEO Forum is the Perdana Leadership Foundation SME Leaders Programme 2020, as we are having today. It is making its debut today. And these programs focus on the micro, small and medium enterprises, a crucial building block of the Malaysian economy, the sector that makes up more than 90% of Malaysian business and contributes 38% to the national GDP. And we are very excited that participants of leaders from various industry for their participation in the inaugural edition of this program. And at the end of the day, we are hoping to get feedback from you for us to improve on the program in future editions. Now, ladies and gentlemen, one of the unique traits of Perdana Leadership Foundation is that it was set up by the private sector for a noble public objective. And the chairman of the Board of Trustees is an eminent member of the private sector. He is a chartered accountant, chartered secretary, and chartered banker who is well-versed in business, having set up his own practice before venturing into banking. The bank that he established, M-Bank, is a familiar icon to all Malaysians. And besides M-Bank, he also has two other listed companies, RCE Capital Berhad and M-Corp Properties Berhad, which was privatized recently. So let us all give a warm welcome to entrepreneur banker Tan Sri Azman Hashim, Chairman of the Board of Trustees of PLF, to deliver his welcome remarks. Dipersilakan, Yang Berbahagia Tan Sri.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Yang bahagia Datuk Suryani, Datuk Ahmad, Secretary General, Ministry of Entrepreneurial Development and Cooperatives, and much more appropriately for this event this morning, she's also the chair of the ASEAN Coordinating Committee on Micro, Small and Medium Businesses, SME. So we hope to hear from her and hopefully how Malaysian MSMEs can take advantage of the RCEP that's starting this year and how you can access to that, to those benefits. Yang bahagia Tan Sri Muhammad bin Yaakob, Executive Director of Perdana Leadership Foundation, esteemed representatives of Affin Bank, PNS and also M-Bank, esteemed trustees are here, distinguished speakers and facilitators, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to everyone. It gives me great pleasure today to be among entrepreneurs and the driving force behind various micro, small, and medium businesses. Thank you for your attending today's SME Leaders Programme. People look at me more as a banker, but I look at myself more as an entrepreneur. I think my core is entrepreneur. And it's my entrepreneurship that enabled me to be what I'm here today, the entrepreneurship spirit, the core of it. As mentioned by the MC, I started my entrepreneurial journey when I left Bank Negara job to start my own small accounting practice. 3 staff. Me, my wife as the secretary, and the office boy. My wife resigned after 2 weeks. She thought me tahan. Actually, it's just like trying to teach your wife how to drive. Don't. You will have a quarrel. Anyway, when I left the practice to join Main Banking, 8 years later, the staff grew to 200. So that was quite okay. And from Main Banking there for 10 years. Then I left again because of my entrepreneurial spirit, taking over a textile company and also buying over the development bank that grew over. At that time, the development bank was having 200 staff, but today it become a conglomerate with all sorts of things, insurance companies, etc. So we have about 10,000 staff today. So that grew out of that, more out of the entrepreneurship spirit to grow, to acquire. So besides banking, I have ventured into other things like properties in Malaysia and also overseas, textiles, and lately solar and hydro energy as well. So quite varied. So if I may say, from my perspective, just talking to entrepreneurs today, from my perspective, what have guided me, a few things that guided me along the way. One is the passion to do what you want to do. And I found that with passion, people ask me, you must work very hard, all these days, all these years. I said, I didn't feel I was working hard. It's because you have a passion and you're doing what you like. When you do what you think you like, you don't feel it like hard work. So first thing that's to your advantage if you are passionate about what you're doing, what you're after. Second thing important, I feel, is liquidity, the cash flow. Some people don't realize. And this applies to little business or big business. You can see in newspapers today, some of the big business are having trouble because they don't have good cash flow. Even Sapura, not enough cash flow to meet the debt. It can lead to collapse of the business. So cash flow is so important, whatever you're doing. Of course, the pandemic has brought this question up very clearly. So many things collapse. Big hotels closed down. In Malaysia, you can see. Because when you don't have the tourists coming in, you have people moving around, there's no business, the cash collapse. But even in normal times, good times, sometimes you expand too fast, you overreach yourself, you run out of cash. See, once you're out of cash, lots of problems come in. You're forced to sell your dual assets, your good asset. Not a good asset, nobody wants to buy. A good asset you sell, then you deprive yourself of all this. So anyway, cash flow. Another one is a positive attitude. I think I'm a very positive person. Sometimes you want to get something, you don't get it. You get very disappointed. But what I look at when I fail to get something, what I think to myself is, I think there's something better around the corner. I'm meant to see at something else that's better. I think along that line, positive. And along the way, I'll find, hey, it happens, Not getting that, I got something else which is better along the way. But the thing is to be positive, not to give up. You don't get it, you give up, Don't do that. Never give up. Be positive and keep trying. The attitude is important. Next one is a culture of excellence. To me, doing things is not the money part. When do the business, my practice, or bank or whatever, the solar system or the hydro, it's not so much the money, it's trying to do it well. Excellence, whatever you do it well. With quality, your service, the things provided, excellent service, quality service. That is the objective, culture of excellence. Because once you do that well, you see the success will bring all those benefits. The money will come in, the profits will come in. So that's the way. So, excellence. And that is important too, because this is a very competitive world. If you can excel in whatever you do, you'll be ahead of others. Leadership is the other thing. People sometimes forget, When you talk about leadership, they don't think it's them. But you are a leader, if you've got a team of 3 people, if I was set up my practice on team 3 people, I'm the leader. If you are heading a group of people looking at you, working for you, you are a leader. You have to be a leader means you have to have the qualities of a leader. You're an example. You have to lead the way. You have an example, everything. Culture of excellence, integrity, working hard. You have to show that. You're a leader. Even a small department, 20 people, you're a leader. So leadership qualities is important for everyone. Even you're not in the business, you are the head of the family, you're a leader. You have to show your family, your children, what is the right way, the correct way, good values. Leader. So don't think when I talk about leadership, that's not me. It's every one of you. And you need to have those qualities. Okay, I think I can talk a lot about these things. Maybe perhaps I have a dialogue session later on. We can deal with more of this type of thing. I can, from my perspective, my experience. So, ladies and gentlemen, the idea of this program came about from the trustees and management because we wanted to see, look more at the leadership aspect in the business context. So the focus is more on leadership part of it for MSMEs and acknowledgement that the best learning in business, one of the best learning in business, is from experience, of course supported by knowledge. Nowadays some universities accept experience as an entry to university and all that. Experience is very valuable if you go through life. Don't worry if you don't gone to university. I think no, it's your experience coupled with your willingness to do things. By the way, I was invited to an annual function by the Harvard alumni in Malaysia to give a speech on management. I started off by saying, look, sorry, I didn't go to university. I didn't attend any management courses. No, I don't follow any management gurus. I said, I manage by the seat of my pants. That's what I said. Meaning, I manage from my own experience and your own personality and character, I think. So, and your qualities. So don't worry. Some people, they worry, they say they cannot compete because they're not university. No. You see, many of the fellows who are now big by billionaires in the world, they opt out of university. Then they well, because they want to be free, they think differently. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to touch today on the subject of, in this year recently, there was a very big milestone when the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, RCEP, agreement was signed by all the member countries. This ASEAN plus the three, Japan, China, Korea, and this time included also Australia and New Zealand. This is the biggest regional trade agreement in the world, covering, I think, 30% of the population, 30% of the world GNP. Huge thing, you know? And we are part of it. We are part of it. So I'm glad Dr. Surani is chairman of the ASEAN MSME. We'll have to focus on this. And of course, Malaysian MSME, now today, it's already started. The train is moving. You must get to know how do we benefit from this? How do you benefit from this? The train is already moving. All the countries are in. I think one of the benefits, immediate one, is the tariffs. I believe there are no tariffs between member countries, for example, like, among other things. So look at it. I think there are seminars being organized in Malaysia. I belong to the East Asia Business Council, which covers the private sector for RCEP, and I'm chairman for Malaysia. So we do some courses to try to get MSMEs to get to know these things now. So it's important. I think it's a big thing because the other countries, they have the same benefits. They have the same access to our market as well. So we must be having access to their markets, but we must do something about it. So the program today aims to provide more of the knowledge part of these MSMEs. That's why there was the title of Knowledge Exchange for Entrepreneurship Excellence. That's the topic. So I hope the sessions will inspire new ideas as well as potential collaborations, in addition to providing insights into how other leaders tackle their business issues and problems. I thank the speakers and the facilitators who have accepted the invitation to share their experience and lessons learned. Lessons learned is probably more important. I learned a lot of lessons along the way. I think it's very important because that's part of the experience, that's part of how you improve yourself. I think between all the CEOs and the founders who are here today and going to be participating, we have about, a century's worth of priceless, hard-earned experience. So do take advantage of their presence and learn as much as possible. Of course, this event will not be possible without the support of sponsors. And we'd like to thank Afin Bank. They are the gold sponsor, and PNS and M-Bank as for the bronze sponsorship. Finally, I got to thank Dr. Suryani for being here to officiate our program. Thank all the participants who are here today. Not all here yet. I think some are caught up in the jam and so on. It's been 2 years since we have a physical face-to-face event. So this is quite a special occasion for PLF. Thank you also to the organizing committee for making this event possible. So have a meaningful program and wish you all better business success in the future. Terima kasih. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Yang Berbahagia Tan Sri Azman Hashim, for your welcoming address, and we're all looking forward to engage you in further dialogue later part of this morning. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the MSME sector cannot thrive without the backing and the support of the government. And we are fortunate that in Malaysia, the government recognizes this and has dedicated an entire ministry to assist the SME sector, the Ministry of Entrepreneur Development and Cooperatives. And the government has also established a number of agencies with specific objectives to assist the micro, the medium, and the small business owners. And we are fortunate this morning to hear from the Secretary General of the Ministry of Entrepreneur Development and Cooperatives herself, who is also the chair of the ASEAN Coordinating Committee of SMEs. It gives a great pleasure to welcome and to invite Yang Berbahagia Datuk Suriani Ahmad to officiate today's event and speak on business leaders thrive with continuous learning and smart networking. A big round of welcome for Datuk Suriani, please.
Thank you, Ms. Peggy Ng. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Yang Berbahagia Tan Sri Azman Hashim, Chairman, Board of Trustees of Perdana Leadership Foundation. Yang Berbahagia Tan Sri Nik Muhammad Nik Yaakob, Executive Director, Perdana Leadership Foundation. Esteemed representatives from Affin Bank, PNS and M Bank. Eminent trustees, distinguished guest speakers and facilitators, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to first commend Tan Sri Azman's very aspiring speech just now. He was talking about leadership and how much I was really engaged about leadership when I was the director of INTAN, Institute of Tadbiran Awan Negara. I was always talking about leadership. And it's only nice to be here in this very important place for us to engage ourselves on leadership matters. Alhamdulillah, let us extend our sincere gratitude to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala for giving us the opportunity to be here today. I wish to thank the organizer for inviting me to officiate the SME Leaders Programme Knowledge Exchange for Entrepreneurship Excellence. We have amongst us today esteemed leaders of micro, small and medium businesses, whom I would like to especially welcome to this timely program organized by Perdana Leadership Foundation. I believe this program will provide industry players with a remarkable opportunity to discuss areas of common interest, share valuable experiences, strengthen various linkages, and build relationships. Ladies and gentlemen, as you are all aware, micro, small and medium enterprises, MSMEs, are the engines of growth and make diverse contributions to our country's economic and social well-being. In Malaysia, more than 1.2 million or 97.44% of total businesses in various sectors are MSMEs, generating a significant number of employment at 7.2 million workers and contributing 38.2% to the country's GDP. Despite being significant in number, many MSMEs still face the same common challenges in the form of lack of access to working capital and the inability of MSMEs to secure credit. Poor productivity from inefficient processes in the business as well as unskilled workforce. Low research and development expenditures, difficulties in adopting technological solutions, and lack of access to global market and knowledge networks. These challenges create barriers for MSMEs to grow, causing them to stagnate, and in the worst case scenario, entrepreneurs could lose everything they have worked so hard for. To make matters worse, the COVID-19 pandemic has brought about compounding challenges to the Malaysian economy and exposed many weaknesses in our entrepreneurship ecosystems. MSMEs are forced to step back, re-evaluate, readjust, and reset the way they do businesses. Being at risk to disruption, the pandemic has caused MSMEs to suffer great losses due to restricted movement, partial or full halt in activities and disruption of the global supply chain, which brought about an economic downturn. As such, MSMEs are forced to accept that this pandemic has caused changes in consumer and business cultures. The old way of doing business is no longer sufficient nor relevant. MSMEs cannot afford to be complacent, have low and outdated technology, or be digitally excluded, as they risk being left behind. Therefore, in order to overcome these challenges and to ensure that MSMEs recover and future-proof their businesses, they must constantly upgrade themselves in terms of skills and knowledge, embrace new technology, and adapt to innovative ways of doing business for continued growth. The COVID-19 pandemic has highlighted the importance of embracing technology and innovation for MSMEs. In the past, technology uptake amongst Malaysian MSMEs were minimal, and most were satisfied of operating their businesses using traditional tools and methods, being more worried about surviving and sustaining the day-to-day costs of running their business operations. In Malaysia, comparative studies show that the level of innovation of our enterprises are at par or higher compared to middle-income countries, but far below the level of high-income countries. Post-pandemic era, MSMEs need to face the fact that technology and digitalization are no longer differentiators, but rather necessities in order to remain relevant and competitive. Technology and digital adoption will help accelerate MSME development in embracing new norms in business activities, thus helping them to reduce costs, become more efficient, and increase productivity. Lack of skilled labor can be a major cause for stagnating MSME growth. Just as it is imperative for MSMEs to digitalize and innovate to stay ahead, likewise, up-to-date hard and soft skills are a key attribute for individuals to maintain a competitive edge. Encouraging continuous learning within the business establishment will further boost entrepreneurial capabilities and strengthen MSMEs' participation in the economy. Increasingly, large corporations are putting emphasis on environmental, social and governance, ESG, aspects to create more business value and ensure sustainability. Hence, I urge MSMEs to seek the opportunity to learn and emulate relevant strategies, initiatives, or good practices undertaken by establishments that have been successful in inculcating sustainability principles in their own business practices. This is because, moving forward, MSMEs will need to seriously address the ESG aspects in their business models to meet sustainability goals in order to remain relevant in the global value and supply chains. Access to greater domestic and international markets provides entrepreneurs with new business opportunities and creates the potential for growth. We must acknowledge that in a globalized world, trade and commerce can go well beyond the physical geography that an MSME is located in. The government, through various G2G cooperation and active representation in ASEAN and APEC fora, will continue to intensify efforts to improve market access and international market opportunities for MSMEs. With regional free trade agreements in effect, there are enablers in place too. Malaysian MSMEs must take advantage of the bilateral and regional agreements and cooperation that can facilitate cross-border trade, especially in ASEAN. Therefore, besides focusing on technology and digitalization, MSMEs must also ensure that they diversify import sources, export destinations, and explore non-traditional markets in order to expand the business further. Tan Sri, Datuk, Datin, ladies and gentlemen, networking and collaborating with others is part and parcel of running a successful business. Networking with individuals and organizations provide MSMEs with support, information, insight, and even opportunities for investment. Smart business networking gives entrepreneurs the ability to collaborate with other experts to help them grow their businesses or improve their professional lives. The key to smart networking is creating value for others and helping make them more successful. For a start, I would like to encourage all entrepreneurs to network and establish contact with my ministry, Ministry of Entrepreneurs Development and Cooperatives, as well as our agencies. I would also like to take the opportunity to share with you today a networking platform that can help you expand your business abroad. In June 2021, the ASEAN Coordinating Committee on Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises, in short we call them XME, of which I am currently chair, launched ASEAN Access, which is a one-stop business information portal for ASEAN small and medium enterprises with the tagline, "Your Business Information Gateway to ASEAN and Beyond." This portal offers information on trade regulations, market entry, market overviews, and service provider data bank, among others, for MSMEs intending to internationalize their business. One of the key features of the platform is ASEAN Access Match, which is a business matching platform that aims to boost trade within and beyond the ASEAN region. I highly encourage Malaysian entrepreneurs to take advantage of the tools available with the ASEAN Access platform, such as webinars and online networking activities, which are free of charge for MSMEs in the respective 10 member states who wish to expand their market and trade beyond borders. This platform connects enterprises across ASEAN and beyond, creating opportunities for our MSMEs to remain relevant in the global supply chain by establishing business connections from match services. Activities include live market information events, one-to-one matchmaking meetings, and product and technologies showcasing opportunities. Ladies and gentlemen, in closing, I believe it is important for MSMEs to equip themselves with the knowledge, skills, and tools to help them recover quickly from effects of the current pandemic and to build resilience against other future forms of disruptions. As such, aside from the various forms of support provided by government, continuous learning, technological innovation, and digitalization of businesses, as well as smart networking, are key to growing sustainable and future-proof MSMEs. I also believe that MSMEs must be hardworking in trying to find as much information as possible from the opportunities provided for by the government. Once again, I thank you for inviting me to participate in this program. And with Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, I hereby officiate the SME Leaders Programme 2022. I wish you all fruitful deliberations and a successful program. Wabillahi taufiq wa hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much, Yang Berbahagia, Datuk Suryani. Please kindly remain on stage as I invite Yang Berbahagia Tan Sri Azman Hashim and Yang Berbahagia Tan Sri Nick to join Yang Berbahagia Datuk Suryani on stage for a group photograph. Thank you so much. And thank you again for your opening address. And ladies and gentlemen, we hear very clearly Datuk's concerns, her advice, and her direction. And I hope that the MSMEs will take it seriously to move the sector forward. Thank you very much, Yang Berbahagia Datuk, for the photo opportunity, and thank you again for the opening address and officiating the opening of the Perdana Leadership SME Leaders Programme 2022.